Channel Z and Knox Brew Hub present Knox Brew Radio and Podcast, an in-depth look at the craft beer scene in Knoxville and the latest craft beer news from around the country and all over the world. Brought to you by First Century Bank, family-owned local banking since 1894. And by longtime friends of the show, Grayson Subaru. Broadcasting live from the Hub in downtown Knoxville every Monday at 6 p.m. And now, kick back and crack one open with local beer's best friends, Zach, Ace, and Stryker.
Good evening and welcome to Knox Brew Radio. We do it live down here every Monday from Knox Brew Hub at 421 Union Avenue. Now, you will notice that I am not Zack Roskop, although it's something I aspire to be on a daily basis.
I think we all do, yeah.
But you know, we've got Ace and myself, Stryker, here, and our resident video producer, Cam Molidor, stepping up to the big table, taking over.
It is a change of scenery, and it is about time.
You graduated, literally. Your seat's a lot higher this week.
Yeah, I feel I'm so much taller here. Yeah. I've had a hard time being short in the corner. It's been really challenging.
And since we're doing things a little bit differently this week, we are also being joined by the beer mayor himself, Gregory Headrick, friend of the program, and our chief beer correspondent. So thank you for being here, sir.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. Cheers. Drink to that. It is a drinking show, so several times throughout the program, you'll hear us say we'll drink to that. You don't have to drink only then.
But we encourage that you do.
Yeah. More the merrier, right?
Absolutely.
I'll drink to that.
Hi.
Cheers again.
Oh, one more time, and then I can sync the audio and video well. Let's do it right here. In front of the microphone. Oh, yeah.
That was such a weak. There we go.
We're good.
There we go. We got a couple of good ones on there now. That's our version of the little clappy sound
that I exploded on day one.
And as always, we love to thank our sponsors here at Knox Brew Radio and Knox Brew Hub and Knox Brew Stories and Knox Brew Tours. And that's Grayson Subaru.
Yeah.
Big supporters of the local craft beer community and a lot of other nonprofit organizations in the area, as well as First Century Bank. They do a lot of great stuff for Knox Brew Tours, Knox Brew Hub, and for many other outstanding members of the community, both individuals and businesses. And you know, like Zach likes to say, everyone's got to have a bank.
You might as well have the best one.
And that's First Century. So we thank them for being the supporters of our show.
Yeah,
also, we have some Patreons to shout out as well.
We have two patrons for our Patreon. If you want to become a patron, just go to patreon.com/KnoxBrewStories. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff that you can get based on our tiers, like the two patrons that we have right now, Stu Gorman of Gatlinburg Brewing, and Ryan Buds with Trivia with Buds. He's got a great podcast. I work for him. He's a great guy, and he loves our show. So
thanks for being our bud, Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
It's Ryan Buds with two Ds.
Buds.
Buds. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you know, we always like to kick the program off with a little bit of brew news. So, you know, I mean, Zach's not here to make us do it, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think we should do it.
Is there anything going on in craft beer this week?
Yeah,
nothing happens with craft beer when Zach is gone.
And the world just goes silent.
Yeah.
No, I do have one. So there is trouble in the motherland, my motherland. New Glarus Brewing of Wisconsin is facing legal trouble after the owners are sued by their longtime minority shareholders. This group alleges owner Deb Carey and her brewmaster husband Dan have kept them from reaping the benefits of the brewery's success and instead have funneled funds into side projects, such as a potential distillery owned solely by the Careys. New Glarus, famous for Spotted Cow and its only Wisconsin marketing and distribution tactics, earns an alleged $15 to $20 million annually, with an overall value totaling north of $200 million as alleged by the lawsuit. Both parties are still in talks, but you can bet I'll be keeping an eye out on these happenings moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as much money as Zach gives us to be on this show.
Just about.
Almost.
Like, just shy.
Not
just
quite
shy.
as much.
I have one. Look, I have brew news. I do it.
Hey,
I do it.
Welcome to the party.
So Monday Night Brewing is going to be opening up a tap room in Nashville on September 4th. Monday Night Brewing is from Atlanta, and they are going to be doing the thing. So right here it says Monday Night Brewing is posed to open its first Tennessee tap room in Nashville's Germantown neighborhood on Saturday, September 4th.
Wow.
The brewery invites all Nashvillians and Knoxvillians, craft beer fans, which is us, and people looking to cultivate community to raise a glass at the grand opening from 12 to 12.
Oh. I mean, I learned 2 new things today. One about Monday Night Brewing opening a location, but also there's a Germantown in Nashville.
Yeah.
No one was going to
Yes.
tell me this.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Okay.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I just like that they have to cultivate a community when our community is just thriving.
Yeah.
It feels so good.
Like.
Yeah, just toss
Yeah.
my hair back a little bit.
All right. How about you, Stryker? Do we have anything for that damn seltzer report? Or are we going to have
well,
free
actually,
for free?
I have a little bit of brew news.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Bring it
and,
on.
and as far as that damn seltzer report, there will not be a damn seltzer report this week. You know why?
we did it. We did
Because
it.
it's Knoxville Craft Beer Week.
That's what's up.
I'll drink to
Not
that.
I will
Knoxville
definitely
Craft
drink to
Seltzer
that.
Week. So we will forego the seltzer report tonight, but I do
Here's
have
that.
some brew news.
Hit us with the Stryker. What we got?
All right. And this ties in perfectly with this segment because, from time to time we do a little thing called the State of the Brunion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to have to be updated soon as Honey Bee Coffee
Yeah.
launches craft beer
Yeah,
and why
I
it's
did
a
read about
perfect
that.
partnership
Yeah, that's
for this brand. Norris Hill is an avid consumer of Knoxville craft beer, not so much a creator, but since he started Honey Bee Coffee in 2017, he's envisioned a brewery as part of his business model. He just needed to find the right brewer. Enter veteran home brewer Steve Dedman, who showed up unannounced at Hill's South Knoxville Coffee Shop in February of 2020 to introduce himself and his vision. Basically, we had an entity in search of a brewery and a brewery in search of an entity, Dedman told Knox News, and we just got together and it worked out really well. Hill is rebranding his business as Honey Bee Coffee and Beer, and customers will get original craft beverages of both varieties across its multiple locations. And they're already brewing, and I had some of their brew at Brewfest on Saturday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Is it good?
I do have
Is
to
it?
ask, Greg, are you a coffee drinker?
I do not drink coffee,
No?
but I drink coffee beers.
Okay.
I
Okay. You know
love
what? That's
coffee beers.
totally fair. I just thought it was really funny to imagine you going in at 9 a.m. and like uppers, downers all day long.
I just love that they are now serving 2 beverages, like one for breakfast and also
Yeah.
coffee.
I'm sorry. Wait, beer's not for breakfast?
No, I drink beer
Yes,
for
it is.
breakfast.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beer is breakfast.
It is breakfast.
You can't drink
Yeah.
all day unless you start in the morning. Just ask this
Exactly.
fella.
Exactly.
And so anyone else got any other brew newsery news?
Greg?
Do you have anything coming out this week for the Mayor's Report, Greg?
I do. As a matter of fact, in honor of Knoxville Craft Beer Week, which it is this week, I did an interview with a gentleman who is my elder,
Yeah.
but he is regarded in Knoxville as the individual that consumes the most craft beer locally than anyone in town, and that's Ed Pritchard.
Oh yeah.
And he drinks.
It was his birthday recently.
He
Happy
drinks,
birthday, Ed.
yes, he drinks every day.
Yeah.
6 out of 7 days, he goes to Knoxville craft breweries or tap rooms. And then on the 7th day, which is Sunday, which is typically when God rests, he doesn't. He has a beer share at a local location
Oh, that's awesome.
with several of his friends. So he drinks 7 days a week. He's a day drinker just like I am.
Yeah.
But he has an interesting story to tell about how he started falling in love with
Yeah.
craft beer and his love affair with Knoxville Craft Breweries.
Yeah.
So I invite everyone to listen to that on Thursday.
I love that. I love Ed. He was one of the regulars when I used to work over at a bridge. I would see
Yes.
him like clockwork every
Yes.
single
He
Wednesday.
has a
He'd
set
come
schedule.
in. Yep. Yep. You can't drink that much without having a schedule to abide by.
Right.
Fantastic.
So yeah, looking forward to that on Thursday. And I guess that's going to wrap it up for Brew News. Now, right here at Knox Brew Stories and Knox Brew Radio, we love to talk beer and drink beer, but we also love our music. So this is where Zach would normally ask Stryker what we're going to hear
Hey,
tonight.
Stryker, what
Hey,
are we going to hear
Stryker.
tonight?
You know, I'm glad you guys asked.
yeah, I'm genuinely curious.
No, I thought I'd keep it simple tonight. I'm just loving the fact that it's Knoxville Craft Beer Week. It's been an amazing time so far. We'll talk a little bit more about Brewfest in our next segment. But, man, I just thought this song by the Mowgli's kind of summed it up really well.
Yeah.
It's I'm Good. It's the Mowgli's on channels. Thanks for listening to Knox Brew Radio. Stryker, Cam, and Ace hanging out with you here on your Monday evening. We, again, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
It's different.
Not having Zach here.
No, Zach's
Where's our
the glue.
captain? We're just running all over the ship here.
Yeah, I want a cool name like Stryker for when I'm up
Yeah.
here. What's my radio personality name?
Camera. I don't know.
Camera. Just so boring. Just add. It's literally like most of my regular name just changed a little bit.
I mean, my nickname is Ace, which is just half of my
Yeah,
real
but it's
name.
segmented.
I guess so.
Which is good. You know what? Whatever. I'm Cam. Hi. I'll take it. My
Hi,
radio
Cam.
personality is Cam.
Welcome. Welcome.
What does your mama call you?
Cameron Wayne. When I'm in trouble.
Okay,
Yeah.
your name is now. Mama calls me Cameron
Mama
Wayne.
calls me Cameron Wayne.
Aw.
Yeah. And also, thanks, Mom. My name means crooked-nosed wagon maker. So thank you.
What?
Yeah, Cameron means crooked-nosed, and Wayne means wagon maker. So thank you. That's it. I grew up just fine.
Now I'm somewhat curious to know what my name means,
Yeah.
and at the same time, I don't want to know at all.
If you watch the YouTube, I'll throw them up right now with what our names are on the thing. I'll blink them up there.
That's mine.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Well, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, it is officially Knoxville Craft Beer Week.
Yeah.
And we're super excited about it. I mean, we've already had so much go on, starting with the beer release on Friday, and then Brewfest on Saturday, which was an insane day for me.
That looks
It was
like
my-
a roaring success.
It
Yeah.
was a great time. It was also my first beer festival on the pouring side
Right.
of the table.
Yeah.
Because, I'm working with Yeehaw now, so I was down there kind of manning that tent through a lot of the day, but also had some time to mix and mingle and, have a few sips of beer here and
Yeah,
there.
of course.
No big deal. Just
Yeah.
a
How was it?
couple of beers.
How was it on the other side?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I had control of the tap handles.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And plus it's always fun when you can do like some little up to the moment collaboration type things, like beer mixing and coming up with innovative concepts and whatnot. And I can't take credit for this one. This my predecessor and the guy who's running Yeehaw in Knoxville now and Central Filling Station, Charles Ellis, friend of the program.
Yeah.
He at a beer fest at some point combined the two varieties they had on tap,
Yeah.
which was the Dunkel and the Blackberry Beret Berliner Weiss,
I want it.
and made a little concoction he calls the Dunkelberry.
Oh, I like
Now
that.
we're still still workshopping the name there.
Yeah,
but,
I was
but,
going to say that.
but
does-
the result.
It's just short of something not quite
know.
ideal.
Yeah, I don't
And,
know.
and that's
I am
what that
gung
was,
ho about that name.
that
always.
was the general consensus of everyone that tried it. They're like, tastes great. Work on the name.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
love the name.
Yeah, that was a
I'm
pretty
here for the
general.
name. But I did
consensus
go to
there.
art school, so I have a little different of a mindset than anybody else. So the big thing that I guess that I would ask Ace and Stryker
Yeah, what's
and
up?
Greg
Hit me with it.
is one were you able to attend this over the weekend? If you weren't, because I was recovering from a thing that we joked about a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Glad
Glad you turned out okay.
I'm okay. Yeah, I got to keep everything.
Yay!
But
Hooray.
if you didn't go this year, what is the experience like, and how does it make you feel when you're there? Besides just drunk and happy, what is the situation like? Like, how is? I've only ever been to one beer fest, and it was
Only one ever?
Yes, and I was back home
Okay.
in California, and it was my birthday, and I was supposed to fly up and see my ex-girlfriend for my birthday.
Yeah.
And our flight got just completely canceled.
Yeah.
And so I went home, and my mom was like, let's go to the Pizza and Beer Fest in Los Angeles.
Pizza and beer
Yes.
fest.
So you went to every single booth, and there was a slice of pizza and a beer pairing, and it was fantastic.
That sounds amazing.
But it was not just beer focused.
that sounds like a gluten
It was.
intolerant
It was.
person's
Yes.
nightmare.
Yes. Corey, my partner,
Not
would
for the
die.
gluten-free friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was great. You got very full very fast.
I believe it.
But it was delicious. And so my question to Greg and everyone at the table and anyone else that wants to chime in, especially birthday boy Alex, if you want to come up here and grab the mic.
We would love to be able to have you on
Yeah.
here. It is Alex Stokes'
Twist his
birthday.
arm.
Beer comedian.
Yeah.
Yes,
Come
another
on
friend
up.
of the program.
Sit here.
Come on,
Come on up, man.
down.
Look at this. Look at the secret microphone we got for you. It's planned. But yeah,
We're just
what
like
is your
Zach, we're
experience
throwing
like?
out
How was
surprises.
it? How was it? What do you guys like about it? What's the worst part? What's the best part? Can you just let me know.
All right, for someone who has been on both sides of the beer fest, so I have been fortunate enough to have been able to pour for the breweries that I've worked with, and also be able to attend. I've got to say, it is 10 times more fun to work a beer fest when you're pouring than it is to attend.
Really?
And here's why. You get to show up early. You get to make friends. More often than not, you get to go around and instead of waiting in line, people have already come up and they've already seen you working behind, so they know that you're working there, so you never have to wait in line. And sometimes you're given some pretty exclusive access to some really unique things. So I was fortunate enough to work the Best of the Midwest, the Great Taste in the Midwest. It's really big beer fest in Madison, Wisconsin. And I, for the first and only time in my life, got to have a Sam Adams, the Utopia.
Oh, yeah, I've had that, yeah.
Oh, boy. What a way
pretty
to start a
special.
beer fest. I don't even remember how high of alcohol content it was, but it tasted like just
There's a reason you
drinking
didn't remember.
straight whiskey. Yeah,
Yeah.
there were reasons.
Straight up,
But
like
I mean,
brandy.
I love the way like different themes can happen. People dress up in weird things. I'm just all about it. It's breweries being able to express themselves and their personality and really have that one-on-one with the customers that come up. Everyone's just so excited to be there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about Alex and Greg? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
About what? I was outside. I missed this.
Beer
fest.
festivals.
Any beer
Oh,
festival.
We're just talking about beer
Festivals. Oh.
festivals
Yeah,
in
did you
general.
go to
It
the
doesn't
one
have
on
to be the one
Saturday?
that happened
I
Saturday,
love,
but
yeah, I hate that I missed Knox Brew Fest because
Yeah.
I always go to
Same.
that one.
Same.
But I had a show that night and I was out of town, so I had to miss this one. But no, I absolutely. One of my favorites is coming up October 2nd, Brew Street Brew Fest in Sevierville.
yep.
Oh, right.
And
I've
I'll
never
be
heard of
there for
that
that
one.
one as
Tell me
well.
about it. Tell me about
it's
it.
so much fun. You know what's really neat about that one? It's half big breweries from Knoxville and Asheville, sometimes Nashville, and the other half is professional homebrewers from
man.
all around, and sometimes their beers are just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
They're so good. Boogertown Brewing, Boogertown. These are my friends at Boogertown. They know who I'm talking about. I wore their T-shirt on our podcast a few weeks ago.
Shout out to Booger Town.
Boogertown.
Shout out to Boogertown.
Three words I never thought I'd hear on this program.
Hey, you shouldn't have invited me. You knew better.
I
than bring me
had
up
no
here.
problem with hearing those
Yeah.
words. I just didn't anticipate
Yeah.
it.
They make this Citra IPA that is so good, and I always set up my table, like my book signing table, and I'm always the master. Well, not always, but the last 3 years I've been master of ceremonies for the festival, which is really hard because I get there 2 hours before the festival and I drink for the whole festival, and then at the end I have to announce the winners, and I can't
Fantastic.
even.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to say Boogertown after 7 hours of beer? I'm like, here, just say your name.
Yeah.
You won. Yeah, you're
At
the
that
winner.
point, it's hard
Yeah.
to read the winners list, especially if it's not in your own handwriting.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, who?
I like to think that it's just putting things on challenge mode.
Yeah, it is very.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year, I'm going to try really hard. Gatlinburg Brewing Company is sponsoring this year's because they always win the brewery side of it, and so yeah, it's gonna be. That's a really cool festival though. If you get a chance to come to that one, but yeah, I love the festivals, and my problem though is I'll find one beer at a festival that I love, and then I just become a part of that booth for the rest of the day. I'm like, I'll just stand there the whole day. I'm like, yeah, here's another token or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just, I'll just vote for you all day. Just keep giving me that one.
Yeah.
I remember a couple years ago at the Hops in the Hills
Yeah.
Festival in Maryville, Adam Privet, who had Cold Fusion Brewery, who's now with Gatlinburg Brewing Company, but he had a honey juniper IPA,
Dang.
which was to this day is still my favorite beer I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
And he hasn't made it again.
That is
And-
the heartbreaking thing. You come across things that are so amazing, but they're
know.
mostly just small batch,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
for these beer fests. They're just like, yeah, let's just hit you
I
with
drank the
this.
entire batch that
Yeah.
day. Yeah, that was the batch was gone. So, but yeah, no, I love beer festivals absolutely, and I hate that I missed Knox Brew Fest, but
Same,
Yeah,
especially its
same.
location this year. Like anyone who knows me knows that I'm like weirdly obsessed with trains. So
Yeah,
the fact
you're
that
a
it was,
choo-choo queen.
I am the choo choo queen.
See, you got a new nickname,
All right,
Choo Choo Queen.
Did I
Choo-choo queen.
Did I miss
Choo-choo
something else
queen.
while I was gone? I don't
So
know.
much. You missed so much.
And now we're going to break into the choreographed dance that we planned. So
Okay,
good luck
well.
with that.
See, I didn't know about.
But yeah, no, continue. Continue about your choo-choo love.
Oh, yeah. So the fact that it was held at Southern Depot, which is just a beautiful building and right near the old city, I'm really jealous that I missed it. And I'm kicking myself because I was offered a ticket and I had worked 2 tours and it was raining and I'm like, maybe. For me, the beer fest, the big thing that bums me out about day beer fests are the bees. You don't think about that. On a hot, beautiful summer day, bees and wasps everywhere.
True.
Yeah.
Are there?
Yes.
I don't think I saw a
That has
single
never
beer
stopped me from
wasp
drinking.
the entire
Really?
day.
Okay, maybe
Really?
that was just up in Wisconsin. Maybe I
That
just
has
need to
never
get
stopped me
back
from
down.
drinking
away.
beer ever.
I guess so.
I just don't go outside, so the bees never get me.
Bees and wasps are scared of trains, famously.
Murder hornets could not stop me from drinking beer. So I don't
You know
know
what?
about
I will
bees and
drink to
wasps.
that for
I mean, I would
sure.
still go right in. I'd be like,
Murder hornets
going
going
for
to
it.
take me
Totally
away.
agree. That should be a T-shirt.
All right, Greg.
Make
what
a
do you-
good album cover too.
How do you feel about all of the goodness that Alex just spoke about, and Ace with her Choo Choo Love?
Yeah.
How was the venue? How was everything?
Well, I did not attend this year
The mayor didn't attend.
because it is during Craft Beer Week.
Okay.
I had put my liver through calisthenics
Yes. Fair.
in preparation for all the events for Craft Beer Week, but I failed to account for Brewfest.
Yeah, you can't
So-
hamstring yourself before the big event.
So in order
Right.
for my liver to survive all the events for Craft Beer Week, I had to bow and not go to the Brewfest. I have been to past Brewfests, and I found it intriguing that they went back to their roots
Yeah.
down at the Southern Railway. And years past, this past several years, they've been at the World's Fair site, but they set it up for 2 different times this time. So the more I hear about it, the more I wish I'd have
I know,
given
same.
it a shot.
The more I
Yeah.
see the pictures, the more I hear the stories, the more I
Yeah.
see the beers that they were serving.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
I think we made up for it today for my birthday.
Yeah, today is
Jeez, I've been with
today
him
is
since 11
Alex's
this morning.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yes,
Alex.
happy birthday, Alex.
Yeah.
So I was able
He's 22.
to reach out to him this morning, and
We walked
yeah,
into
we
Orange Hat.
celebrated today. So yeah,
Yeah, Orange Hat this morning with cupcakes and beer. I was like, that's a good
10:30
start.
this
Okay.
morning to yeah.
That is
10:30, yeah.
literally the dream I have every night is cupcakes and beer.
Oh,
That's
it's
all
been
I
great.
want.
Yeah. We're-
Fantastic.
This is stop number 4. So yeah, we're doing.
Oh, wow.
This is our
Beautiful.
Brewfest today.
Speaking of
Awesome.
stops, we do have something to taste that we passed out
Yes,
to
we
everybody.
do. Yes.
Yes.
And speaking of Craft Beer Week, you know,
Yeah.
this is the collab that all the
Knoxville
brew.
Area Brewers Association,
Yeah.
so CABA, every craft beer week releases a new craft beer, and this was actually brewed over at the new Yeehaw, correct?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was brewed at Yeehaw, but it is in no way a Yeehaw beer. It was a collaboration with all the various members of the Knoxville Area Brewers Association, or CABA, as we call it. And it's a unique little
Fruited blonde, yeah.
ale.
Strawberry and guava,
Yeah,
right?
it's brewed with a Tennessee-grown barley. It's got a mango and strawberry puree and Boss Kivik. Did I say that right? Kivik?
Kvike.
Kvek.
Kvike.
Kavak.
Kvike.
Kvike.
Kvike yeast.
Quack.
That yeast strain, that's the
Beer
one.
nerd helped
And
us
it just tastes like summer in a glass. So
It really
we've
does.
got everyone that's here in attendance
Yeah.
tonight has a
Cheers.
little tasting of it. So,
So
cheers.
cheers, everyone.
Cheers,
Knoxville
everybody.
Craft Beer Week.
Yeah.
Woo!
This is what we had this morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the
Yes.
first thing I got when I came in before I set
Oh,
up
dang.
any of the video.
This
equipment.
is a great breakfast
It is.
beer if there ever was one.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
kinda
That and all the
silly.
other beers.
One of the things I find interesting is 2 weeks ago when Dr. White was here, Zach had a little teaser taste of this,
Yeah.
which I don't think had been kegged yet,
No, yeah.
No, it hadn't
and
been.
how that the flavor profile has changed
yeah.
since
Very
just in those
bright,
2
almost
weeks.
less. I don't want to say that it was sour the first time I had it, but I definitely got more fruit off of it, whereas
Yes.
this kind of mellowed out with the
Yeah.
carbonation.
Yeah.
It had like a gentle tartness, if
Yeah.
that's a thing. You know,
Gentle.
like
Yeah.
you know, like it had enough to make your like tongue zing.
Oh, but it's
And now-
intentional, right?
Yeah, it's intentional. You know,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
This is delicious. This is one of my favorite things I've ever drank. Anything that is mango-y, I will
I'm the same way.
I will.
Yeah, mango. I'm in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just I'll tie me off. I'll chase the mango dragon, and we'll be good.
And since this beer was done in collaboration with all the local breweries, you can find it on tap at pretty much every local brewery around town.
Or down here at the hub. You can catch me and Stryker slamming it at the bar.
That's right, here at Knox Brew Hub at 421 Union Avenue. And it'll be around till it's gone. So get it while you can.
It's good with cupcakes. I had it this morning.
It's great with cupcakes.
It's a great pair.
Get you some. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about Craft Beer Week, shall we?
Yeah,
So
let's do
it actually started in 2006, and the Brewers Association launched American Craft Beer Week through craftbeer.com to support craft breweries and independent brewers through the second full week of May. And it used to be Craft Beer Month, but I don't think anyone's livers could survive that.
No.
And we did have a guest a couple weeks ago. That was Jeremy Walker, and he actually helped us start Knoxville Craft Beer Week. So
that's
a
cool.
little bit of history for y'all.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, out there on the radio waves.
I'll drink to history.
Most definitely will drink to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of it. I will drink to some of history.
Not all of it.
Chris, Knoxville's beer nerd, and my co-host on my show, he'll drink to any word we say. So just say a word.
There he goes.
It
Right
wasn't
on
that
cue.
hard there. There we go.
Absolutely.
What is your show? What do you guys do?
Waking Up in a Brewery. I'm sorry, I was telling him I love him. It's called Waking Up in a Brewery. Yeah, and we've actually been with you guys on here before a few months ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. We kind of did a little pre-recorded early.
Yeah, we had,
thing
that was
there.
fun.
Yeah.
We did it was one of those lovely little crossover events that network television likes to do.
Yeah.
Where they
it's a
were
collab-
on our show and then
podcast.
and then we went on theirs. Yeah, a little.
We did Waking Up in a Brewery at 6:00 p.m., which is about when we wake up. So it's that was the first time we actually did it on time. So because I don't have a job, I'm a comedian. So
Yeah.
And not just-
I don't work till
filmmaker, I
like
got
9
you.
o'clock at night. So
Not
I'm
just any comedian though. You have a certain moniker that you go by, which
The
ties
beer-
in very nicely
the
with
beer comedian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that start? Was it just that you were doing stand-up in breweries, or how did you get that moniker?
Yeah, so I've been doing stand-up 12 years, and it took me 10 years to figure out, hey, if I put beer in front of my name, then maybe I could just do shows in breweries, and
Yeah.
it's worked out. But no, I used to be a comedy club comedian, and those are really boring now because they kick out all the hecklers. So then I started doing dive bars and just all kinds of bars, and those are fun. I still love doing the dive bar show because I love I love getting a pool ball thrown at you at Pucker's in Gatlinburg, or a dart thrown at you, or getting beat up in the parking lot. That's great.
always a good time.
Yeah, that's always fun. But then I did my first brewery show a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, wait, no, this is better. This is like a good mix between a comedy club and a show, or a bar. And so that I just changed my name to the Beer Comedian, and I primarily do big breweries or small breweries, and I still do dive bars. I love it. So and every once in a while comedy clubs if they come calling, but.
Well, I was about to ask if you had any horror stories, but I don't know. Having a dart thrown
I've
at me,
I've written a book about my horror stories. I've got one already. I published that 5 years ago.
Where can we find it?
yeah, shameless self-promotion. What is it called? Where can we get
it's
it?
called 5 Years of This.
5 years of this
Husband,
what?
father, comedian, my story, but since then though, there's a chapter in that book. It's like the weirdest shows I ever had.
Yeah.
And since that book came out, I've had way weirder. I thought I was done after 5 years, and it's just getting worse. Because right after that one, I did a show in a yoga studio here in Knoxville.
Oh.
And they were doing yoga while I was doing the show.
What?
Fantastic.
And I was surrounded by mirrors, and it's just like butts in my face, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And I was like, do I keep going? And they felt so bad for me. The woman that owned it gave me a gift certificate to her clothing store. After she'd already paid me like a lot of money, and then she's like, that was awkward. And I was like, yeah I was, I know, I was there talking to your butts. I know it was awkward. Yeah. So
Did
she
any
gave me a
of the
gift
butts talk
certificate.
back?
That's my greatest fear with yoga. That's the reason why I don't like to do it when, like, I know that a lot of breweries in town offer it, but I'm so afraid that they offer you a beer and yoga, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, don't try to
to
tell jokes to people's butts. It's not fun.
No.
I got a gift certificate to go to a yoga store to buy yoga stuff, and I'm like,
The audience is all assholes.
Yeah.
now somebody's
and
gotta
if they
tell
laugh
me
back,
jokes.
that stinks.
Well, you can get you some nice yoga pants and
Yeah, well,
use them as a stage outfit.
sure. Yeah. So,
True.
Fantastic.
yeah, but
I've heard that even since that story, you've had some. I mean, it just continues.
you mean
It
Saturday
seems to be-
night, 2 nights ago?
I wasn't going to get into specifics, but yeah. I mean,
let's
I
go
guess
for
what I'm
it.
saying
Let's
is
go for
the
it.
beauty
Spill
is
that
that it's
tea.
the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
The more you continue to do
Well,
this.
see, now, Stryker, you were there 2 weeks ago. Like, it was a great show at Gypsy
Yep. Barrel House.
Barrel
yep.
House, and that was my Amazon Prime special. Finally filmed it. It was a great show. Saturday night, I was at Gatlinburg Brewing Company, the Sevierville location. Now they got two different ones. A lot of rain. So when the show was starting, we had 2 old women. That was the entire audience.
Yeah.
It gets better. Listen, I've heard this story.
And I had,
I'm in.
I don't know if it's better or worse. I don't know.
No, it's better.
And I had 4 comedians opening for me. 3 of them were my students that I teach here at UT, and they had driven over an hour to get there.
Yeah.
And then I had another guy who had driven from Farragut all the way to Sevierville. And they get there, and I was like, guys, I'm sorry. We've got two old women here, and they don't look happy. And all these people told me that I was like, this is my birthday show. Everybody's got to come. And nobody showed up. So I text this guy, and I'm like, are you guys not coming? He's like, oh, no, we're almost there. He's like, and I'm bringing a caravan. 20 drunk guys come straight from the lake.
Oh, boy.
This is Sevier County. Now, it's not Norris Lake. When they come from Norris Lake, that's like, all right, that's cool. When they come from a Sevier County lake, which is Douglas
They were
Lake,
drinking moonshine all day?
they're drinking everything all day. They're like drinking lake water, moonshine.
That's a cocktail. in
Anything
Sevier
they
County.
can drink, they're drinking it, and they're going to show up. So they show up, and I was like, oh, my God, this is not good. That was our entire audience. Well, the first guy walked the 2 women, so they left because he was too dirty, and he's one of my students. They got up and left. I was like, all right, we got rid of that. So now we got 20.
Did you curate it to make him go first just so you can make that happen?
It wouldn't have mattered which any of us would have gone up. We were going to walk them. Yeah. I think the bartender could have walked them. I mean, it didn't take much. So, but all the 20 guys that came, I knew them. I grew up with them. They've been to my shows 1,000 times. They knew all my jokes. Literally, any of those 20 drunk guys could have gone up and done a weird version of my show.
Right.
But during the show, this one guy somehow became barefoot. And if he's listening now, it's you. He became barefoot during the show. And as he's walking, he's going back and forth right in front of me to the bar. And he's spilling beer the entire time. It's like, and it's not just spilling it, it's like bouncing out of the glass.
It's leaping.
And he's making a trail. And I was like, well, at least he's going to find his way back, to the bar. Yeah. And he did. The next time he walks back, he's literally he heard me say that on the microphone. Mm-hmm. So he starts watching. He's looking for the spots now. And the whole crowd, and I told him to follow Yellow Brick Road the 4th time he did it. And
I'm really surprised no other member of the audience pulled a Hansel and Gretel on him and drank all the beer
Yeah,
up.
oh, I know.
So he would just get lost in
I
the
actually
crowd.
did say that once, Hansel and Gretel once. I pulled that out. Yeah, this guy, he just kept going. By the end of the night, he literally was crawling through his own path. But then I had another guy that just kept screaming out country roads every once in a while, like in the middle of my joke.
The whole song or just the phrase?
He started to sing it, but that's as far as he got was country roads, and then it stopped. And I was like,
and no one took him home.
it was such a weird
Poor guy.
There's a lot more I could say, but you guys got to do your show. I don't want to keep on going because it was very strange, and I wish I'd have recorded that one.
Right, me too.
But anyways, yeah, that's my life, But, and then this morning, Greg's like, "Hey, come meet me," and I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
We're so
happy
happy to
that
have
you're
you.
here.
Yeah.
Thank you for the belly
I
laughs.
love
That
being
was
with you guys.
Aw.
appreciate you jumping in here and joining us because we
Just kick me off when you're ready.
It's no big secret. We are totally winging it tonight.
Yeah.
We had a plan.
We
but
did.
like all great plans, it went right out the window
Instantly.
right about the time that the intro started playing. So we were very glad.
So that's why
to
you
have
brought me up here.
To have
Okay,
you.
I got
it.
Well, I kind of gave you guys a heads up that
We were like, hey,
you
we
might get a little stage time
someone.
tonight. I don't know. Go do
All
a high
coy,
five.
like-
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's
But-
fair that anything will goes out the window as soon as I start talking.
No, I think you've been great, Cam.
Oh, thanks, man.
Well, again, thank you for joining us at the table, and happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
brother. And
appreciate you guys.
big props
Birthday.
to you
Thank
and
you.
Chris and what you guys do.
Yeah.
Waking up in a brewery, which, as you know from when we did our little collaboration project, I actually have woken up in a brewery accidentally.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy. That's a story for another day, but I can totally relate to the whole waking up in a brewery concept. So,
I'm totally on my way on my birthday to waking up in an alley tonight. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Hang with me, brother.
lucky
Hang
for
with
you,
me.
we've got
Is my
one
wife
right
here
here
yet?
outside the building. So I highly recommend it, especially if you get kind of behind the dumpster down here.
Yeah.
It's a nice little cozy
Comfy
spot.
cozy.
It
Yeah.
doesn't smell too much like hot garbage,
Awesome.
and it gives you good shelter from the rain. Not that I
Okay,
know
cool.
these things.
Yeah. Well, thank you
care
guys.
of you, brother.
Yeah.
I won't
Yeah.
snap.
I don't
Yeah.
trust you at all.
It's just pastel homeless. It's not real homeless.
I know you laced those cupcakes this morning. Don't look at me like that, beer mayor. No, thank you guys for having me.
Oh, of
absolutely.
course.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Alex.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
thank
go
you,
sleep in the
man.
alley.
Happy
I'll see y'all later.
I'm much obliged. And again, you can catch Alex and Chris and their podcast of Waking Up in a Brewery. They're on Facebook. They do a lot of stuff on Facebook Live at Waking Up in a Brewery. So be sure to check that out and all your Facebook locations and all those fun places on social media where you can find a couple of guys waking up in a brewery.
Yeah, which is
Talking beer.
it's a good show.
Doing the thing.
It is a good show.
It's a real good
We had
show.
a blast on that. I was really glad to have that collaboration, that little crossover event,
Right.
as it were, and it's been fun running into these guys all over the place ever since.
I'm
So,
trying to get enough like Knoxville notoriety to where they ask me to be on their show, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Maybe.
Well, not with that attitude,
Yeah.
mister.
I know. I'm just waiting.
As you
wait.
look at them, wink, wink, wink.
I know, and they're not looking. They're not even looking at me.
No.
No eye contact.
Not
at all.
acknowledging.
None.
No.
No eye contact. They just buried their heads like in their beer.
They
we
have
were talking a
expanded
little
their
bit,
they have expanded their podcasts and that they're hitting different breweries in Knoxville now. Mm-hmm. So every week they're going to a different brewery and they're doing the Facebook Live thing as well. If you're
And-
brave enough to experience that, so.
And not just Knoxville. I mean, Alex was talking about his show a couple of weeks ago at Barrel House.
Right.
Well, I was planning to go to that show. I knew not only him but some of the other comics on the roster there, and I was excited about it. So I'm looking through the Book of Faces earlier in the day, and I see these guys at a brewery in Nashville doing one of their feeds, and I'm like, you do remember you've got a comedy special tonight, right? And yeah, they were there, and I was like, did you all just finish that and drove
And
straight
just
home?
scoop.
Yep.
Consummate
Wow.
professionals.
So dedication.
Damn.
But yeah, you can catch these guys at breweries all over the area,
Yeah, that's
especially
great.
here in Knoxville, but other areas as well. So yeah, check them out at Waking Up in a Brewery. And like I said, we had Beer Fest or Knoxville Craft Beer Week going on all week. We had Beer Fest to kind of kick things off on Saturday. Of course, Friday was the true kickoff with the collaboration release. Were there any other aspects of that you guys wanted to discuss before we?
I mean, shameless self-promotion. We're going to be covering it a little later on this
Sure.
week on Tap. We'll be doing that segment after a little musical
Right.
break. But there are so many cool things that are going on this week. So even with Craft Beer Week, I feel coming together under kind of short notice. I feel like everyone's been really cautious and really responsible about how they're approaching things right now in the time of COVID.
Yes.
But even during that, you still see all of these breweries making an effort to do things for charity.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of really cool charitable events going on this week. If I could just touch on a few of those. So we have one
Please.
going on tomorrow night. Print Shop is hosting a 5K, and that is a pint night for Kicking Cancer. And $1 from all of those pint sales go towards Kicking Cancer.
Now, 5K in terms of a brewery, that's where you have to drink 5 kiloliters.
5 kegs.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
5 kegs.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 kegs.
I'm down. As long as it doesn't involve running.
Yeah, I'm here.
And then Friday and Saturday, so there's actually been something going on between the Oak Room and Zool. They've done a couple really unique collaborations, but they actually did 2 Imperial Stouts. On Friday, they're going to be releasing at Zool, and on Saturday, will be released at the Oak Room. And that will be to benefit Moz, which is going to be benefiting SIDS, research and education. What else is going on? Oh, at Pretentious. So Will Brady, a couple of people in Knoxville might be familiar with, is not only an awesome brewer, but he is also an amazing artist. So he is going to be doing a live mural on Friday, and then they're going to be auctioning that off for charity on Saturday.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I have always loved, one of my favorite aspects of working in beer are just all the amazing charitable events that come off of working in this industry. And Knoxville, per usual, showed up, showed out, and there's a lot of cool events. So if you want to check out different ways that you can support our craft breweries and also our local charities, definitely check out our This Week on Tap.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
And also, Ace does such a great job presenting that for everybody.
Amen to
Thank you,
that.
Cam. Thank you.
It's always
it's a
perfect.
pleasure. It's such a cool experience to be able to see what's coming up this next week. I always feel like I'm getting like a little peek into things that I shouldn't, but I love being able to share that with other people and all these breweries. I'm just super grateful that
It's
they
literally the only thing I read on purpose.
Well, I just love it because
intentionally.
it's so conveniently located in one location, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that I can, just go ahead and plan my entire week around my drinking habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so easily done in one location. So kudos.
Beautiful.
The
Absolutely.
effort that you put in on a weekly basis.
And when I
compiling
say
these
that there are
lists.
some beer releases coming up this week, oh boy, buckle in.
We'll
And-
talk about that a little later.
And if I may,
Mm-hmm.
speaking
You may.
of Ace and her talents,
Oh.
on knoxbrewstories.com, please read her blog as it relates
Yes.
to Crafty Bastard Brewery. It is so intriguing and educational, and I'm happy to report that hopefully in the near future you will have additional blog reports of other breweries coming soon.
So I actually have a couple in the queue right now. I have Zool, Geezers, I have Orange Hat. There are a couple that are going to
Can't
be
wait.
posted very soon.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
Fun
Yeah, for
read,
those that don't
always.
know, Knox Brew Stories is a full multimedia venture, I guess. You got
Yeah.
Knox Brew Radio
We
and
got the
podcast.
blog,
And
we
Knox
got the
Brew TV.
podcast,
And Knox
yeah.
Brew TV.
And Knox Brew blog.
And Knox Brew blog. And they all fall under the umbrella of Knox Brew Stories,
Yeah.
which all falls under the
Knox
umbrella
Knox
of
Brew
Knox Brew,
umbrella.
brew something, Knox Brew everything.
It's a
Zach.
4D experience.
It really
Zach
is.
has essentially
not like-
created like the Disney World of beer for
Yeah.
Knoxville, which
It's
is
not like
super
that
rad.
awful like ride where it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience where like a dog sneezes in your mouth. Like this is so much better than a dog sneezing in your mouth.
It's more fun than a 20-sided dice, people.
Yes.
It's it's a good time. Yes. But we love our beer around here, but again, we also love some tunage.
What are we listening to?
So
Stranger?
we'll take a little break, a little musical break here, and then we'll all be back on the other side to talk a little bit more about the rest of Knox Craft Beer Weekend and what we've got coming up later on in the week. So right now we're going to jump into a little tune by the Unlikely Candidates. This one's called Novocaine
Yes.
on Channel Z.